It's time to shuffle up. Y'all better get your funds up. Joined by Ace the Space Boy, so put your ones up. It's Joseph King. Y'all don't want to hear me sing. I bet y'all excited tonight. We ain't talking about wrestling. Instead, we talking about complaining. And I just raw dogged a submarine sandwich. This is the Shuffle Up podcast. I'm joined by Ace the Space Boy, like I just said. But you like that? I really did that.
That was pretty good. That was a mess.
Yeah, that was. No, I thought that was good. The music was really loud in my ear,
which was surprising.
No, I was just in it. I think I'm
in it to win it, win it to win it.
Oh my god,
my audio is looking kind of a mess. I should have probably practiced. It just
do we
looks really loud for some
do we need to
reason.
start over?
Do I sound loud to you?
No, you sound fine to me.
No, we're good. We're good.
I mean, I can change it in post.
Yeah. Cut that bit out.
Cut it out. Cut out.
So, what's the topic you were saying? Or did you want to do
So
small talk stuff?
Listen to me, okay? I'm going to start doing this. We're talking about complaining. And it's a little bit of a, I guess, broad topic. So I want to talk about, like, I don't know, a journey, I guess you could say, to kind of like be a little bit more positive and like, because I feel like there's a lot of negativity and complaining that's like avoidable, and I feel like it kind of limits me sometimes with situations. So I'm trying to be better with that. So that's what this is about.
I mean, respectfully, complaining is so much fun. Like, I could literally go on and on about how close you are to the camera right now.
And I also just
when you're usually not that close, just to complain.
And I also
that's
just
so funny.
I also just saw on my camera that I got Cheeto fingers, so this is really just chaos. But you will learn after we get into it that complaining is actually worse for you than you think it is. You could die. You could die from it. You could die from it.
That's crazy.
You could die from it.
You could die from it? It could kill you?
I think I heard that once, yeah. Okay.
You said that like you had an example of a story.
Oh, yeah, but we just started. We can't.
Yeah, I heard it once.
It's a spoiler. I can't just get into it right now. That's like a teaser for the episode.
Oh, my God. Bro, you're too funny.
Okay, so what's going on in your life right now?
I have been playing Minecraft
oh my god,
way too long because I am a bitch.
So I want to get the elephant out of the room here. Last week,
oh no,
you were complaining about Nintendo every single 5 seconds.
Yeah. This week,
not only do all the games that you own Nintendo, but you just bought a Nintendo Switch 2? And I don't have the footage right off my hand. But I feel like you mentioned several times that you will not own a Nintendo Switch 2. You would not own a Nintendo Switch 2. I've heard you say that multiple times. So, explain yourself.
Shut up. No, okay, so I actually do have a valid-ish explanation, but not really. I have a credit card at a certain store that...
A credit card?
Yeah, that has like 10 grand on it. And that credit card was almost like delinquent because I haven't used it I went to the store hoping to get a gaming computer because this store sells like all of these things. And I walked out of the store with a Nintendo Switch 2.
Okay, so now do you want to hear my response to that?
Yeah.
You could have got anything.
It just had to be a big enough purchase that it was going to last a while. And I didn't want to spend $1,000, respectfully.
So you bought something. You'd rather not spend $1,000, which you have, by the way. You admitted that you basically do have, which I get it though.
I definitely have.
I get it though.
In cash, I could have bought.
But
I don't make purchases on my thing without having the cash.
But you're gonna break your morals. because of it.
I should have got a
your
PS5
morals.
instead. I won't even lie.
Kevin,
I should have got a PS5 instead. But I didn't. I'm a bad person. I know.
And not only have you been playing this Switch 2, you're not even playing a new Switch 2 game. You're playing Minecraft.
I did get... The only new Switch 2 game is... First of all, the only new Switch 2 game is Mario Kart World.
Then don't buy the Switch!
And another game that I'm doing a review about. So that's really the reason I got it. So I got that game, and it was only like $20. Because it's a remake of an old game. But I had that conversation with you a little bit.
Well, I just wanted to be out here for the content.
Yeah, so you just wanted to bully me. I understand. We know. That's what we were here for.
I mean, it was like...
We were all here.
I'm pretty sure it was the day after we recorded, right? I'm almost certain that.
Shut the fuck up.
So we recorded on a Wednesday and it was on Thursday. It was.
No one asked. Who asked? All right, we get it. I'm a bitch.
I think it's an important topic to bring up here.
I'm Nintendo's side chick. We know.
Nice.
They can do whatever they want with my body.
Oh, for real?
No.
I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about Nintendo.
No, bro. No.
Don't you thinking about me like that?
You know the point I'm trying to make. You understand.
Yeah, that you make no damn sense.
It's my fault.
I wasn't blaming anyone else. You're acting like I was blaming someone else and you're taking the blame. We know it's your fault.
Shut the fuck up, bro. Do you want to fight? Do you want to go hand-to-hand combat right now? It also runs so much better than the regular Switch, man. And so I will say I was complaining partially because my Switch stopped working, and then it started working again, so I was less mad at Nintendo.
So something else, like I found out when we were about to start recording, this is a transition, by the way. We're done talking about that. I like, I don't know, people that have Windows computers know, like, there's like a little tab that like pops up and it's like news articles on the thing. And one of the news articles was like about King Charles's funeral, like some drama with the royal family and King Charles's funeral. And I didn't click it, of course, because why would I do that? But then I Googled King Charles. Dude's not dead.
Yeah, he's...
So they're just playing his...
dead, though.
I mean, yeah, but... I mean, that was...
He's, like, on his deathbed, isn't he?
His inauguration...
Cancer.
Is he actually on his deathbed? Is that why?
So I think he's been in and out of the hospital for cancer recently.
Oh, that's my bad. That's my bad.
Yeah.
Okay, but also, like, you're just really out here getting ready for his funeral while he's alive. Is he planning it? You know what I mean? Is this just me here? Am I the only one?
Yes, probably planning it because it's a big event, you know?
I see 2 days ago, though, it says he looks forward to the long hang with... I should stop, like, reading. I should definitely just actually research instead of reading.
He has to say that. That's like... So there's certain things, you know, like, that they have to say because it's part of their job.
What? What's part of their job? What are you talking about?
Appearances is their whole thing.
I don't know, bro.
And maintaining those appearances. And so people can't believe that he's about to die. So he has to keep
People can't believe that he's about to die?
People cannot.
I can believe that he's about to die.
Against their image. It's against their image, is what I'm saying. You're just making everything so much more complicated than that has to be, bro.
Listen, I know what's going on here. They want to have like a big, special, spectacular funeral, but the dude's alive.
But he will be dead soon.
Is that a threat?
That's not a threat. That's not a threat. It's not a threat.
All right, we're clipping that.
Like that one time the Queen died right after Jay Sweat's tweet, bro.
It was like it was so silent. There was like a pause in between what I said and there's just he will be dead soon. Oh no.
Do you want to fight, dude? Come on now. Oh my god. I can't handle this.
Help. I'm stuck.
Stuck? You froze.
Yeah, I just think like
How do you freeze in your own recording, respectfully?
Because I have I use the internet to upload my camera because I'm broke and I don't have
fancy guy over there.
You got that Samsung Galaxy camera. You know what I'm saying?
Anyhow.
Speaking of deaths, rest in peace, Marge Simpson, allegedly.
What the fuck?
I think we killed her because we were talking about her in the last podcast.
She's not alive. Was never alive.
Well, yeah, but like, I don't know. I feel like if a character in The Simpsons
die in the show?
I feel like if a character in The Simpsons dies, it's like basically real.
Quieter.
This is like, I feel like this is more important than King Charles died.
That's wild.
But
the King of England dying is less important to you than Marge.
I think if we made a poll, right, and everyone voted, America and England, more people would hear about Marge Simpson than the King.
You're out of your mind, dude. You're out of your mind.
I mean, listen. Have you seen his fingers? He's ready to go. Anyways,
no comment, dude. I can't do this. If I say something, I might get clipped for trying to kill the king again.
But allegedly, she's not dead. It was just like one of those like Simpsons do like flash forwards all the time and stuff, and I guess that was it. But it was really like it made it look like she died. So like that was like really dramatic, and I don't know. I don't watch Simpsons anymore, so I mean I watch the old stuff, but I don't really know what's going on anymore. So I just thought it's headlines. We should bring it up, for that clickbait. Marge Simpson dead. That's the episode name, I think. Anyways, do you have anything else going on that you want to talk
about? In my life.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about your life, if you want to talk about someone else's life, you can, I guess.
I'm cat sitting right now, so that's fun. Thankfully, I'll bring on my setup and everything with me. So I get to stay in a much nicer home than my own, in a much nicer bed that I would pay money to stay here, bro.
He brought that shirt with weird squiggles on it with him, I guess.
Shirt with weird squiggles on it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're flowers, dummy. I always look the same wherever I go. I never wear a different outfit. I'm like Marge Simpson.
Hey, don't talk about the dead like that. And I don't want you to repeat what I said about King Charles because...
Holy crap.
What?
Sorry. I started freaking the freak out.
Freaking the freak out?
I just got anxiety for some reason. Holy crap. Sorry. My heart started beating really fast.
I'm going to start with a question for you. When was the last time that you genuinely felt happy about life? Like you had a good day, you felt good in that moment. When's the last time?
Oh my God.
And you don't have to say what moment, but just say how recently.
Like a time frame?
Yeah.
God damn. That's a heavy question.
Mm-hmm.
Not even gonna lie to you. That's real heavy. I don't know if I could tell you.
Okay.
So let me think. Probably playing some kind of video game because that's kind of my happy place at the moment, or making some kind of song, which happens to me every now and then again.
If you had to point a time, was it today? Was it yesterday? Was it before?
Today. Because
how many times?
How
many times a day do you feel like that on average?
Maybe once a month.
You feel that once, so you feel that twice a week total?
Twice a week, probably, at least.
Okay, when was the last time you felt down? It felt really down on yourself?
Every hour of every second of every minute of every day.
Okay, so that answered both of my questions. That answered the next question too. But so the thing is scientifically, negative thoughts stick to you more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really sure about the science, but I feel like that's an interesting conversation to have.
Oh yeah. It's a thing. I've definitely read about this.
Yeah, so stuff like that just sticks to you, which is why we often feel like this more. Like, you probably had several things throughout the day that you felt happy about, but because you felt like stressed or anxious or whatever at some point in time, that's what sticks to you, right?
Yeah.
And I think a good example of when it comes to seeing the negative over the positive, right? So, like, say you go through and you're scrolling through like a YouTube, right? And you search like your favorite, someone you really enjoy watching. Like, they have a bunch of let's plays, and in the middle of those videos, there's like a video, and it's like the rise and fall of this person, right? That video, I, at least for me personally, that video would stick in my head more. And if you keep scrolling through, you're seeing all these other videos, but that's the one that still sticks in your mind. And you go through and you're scrolling through the feed again, and I guarantee that that video will come back up.
Okay.
And
So
it's got more views.
yeah, I definitely have a. I think there are videos with positive vibes that do great numbers. Like, if you look at a lot of like Mr. Beast videos, but also there's a lot of Mr. Beast videos that are competitions where the majority of people lose.
So here's what I
And
was. Oh yeah, go ahead. Go
if
ahead.
you look at those stories, a lot of those videos do get more views than the philanthropic, like, oh, I just helped a ton of people not be blind anymore. Like, that just is not going to get as many views as, I made this guy jump off of a building. He survived, so he got $8 billion. Like, that's just not exciting as, like, giving people their eyesight, I guess, is unfortunately not as entertaining.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
So I get that from that standpoint, but I do have to say, like, to that extent, right? Like, today, well, in the current time of my life, is not necessarily the best time to be judging that kind of thing for me, because I'm going through a little bit. But there have been times in my life where I've had just about as much happy as sad. I will say that. If looking back even further, there's a lot more things that I remember fondly than things that I, hold over my head or regret or really think about negatively. There are definitely core memories that stick in my head more because of their, because of their negative connotation, but there's also core memories that stick in my head even better because of their positive ones. So I think it's a double-edged sword, and I don't like portraying it like just as that black and white. Like, that's an obvious
of
thing
course
that
not.
everyone can say and see in this moment. It's a lot easier to see the negative things. But 2 years from now, you're going to remember this moment like, oh my gosh, some of those days were the best days of my life.
So I will also preference this because you basically unintentionally popped a hole in kind of what I was talking about. This is just like this is
the point.
this is just research basically, right? So I can't really say what is what completely, but you're right. I mean, it's everybody's different. I think that's an important point to highlight because I mean it's different. But I thought about, and like the questions, the thing I did in the beginning for you, I reacted a lot like you did, and that was kind of like a aha moment, like, right?
And here's the thing though about even those questions, right? Even those good times, short, plenty, far in between, heavily outweigh the negative emotions I feel. Like, it's not so the negative emotions build up, right? But they build up so slowly, and that good time shoots up to here, or like in the sky, right? Through the stratosphere, right? And then the negative feelings just kind of slowly catch up to it, and they're always kind of slowly catching up to it. If that was not the case, then I probably would have killed myself by now, frankly. like, like, with all due respect, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I had that many negative emotions that it outweighed the good emotions and the good times, I don't think anyone would say that this shit is like worth it, you know?
Yeah, I mean and I think that's kind of like the ultimate goal of of basically this kind of conversation is like that's the way you want to be, right? Um but that's not always how it works. Like my point, going kind of back to my point too, because like the thing with the videos, right? Um Negative there's I'm not I'm trying to make a point here because negativity is, I feel like, at least for me, right? Because I'm and maybe it's 'cause I'm noticing a little bit different. I feel like negativity is like rising up when you go like go on YouTube. That was my point I'm making. And if you go to a lot of these channels, a lot of times people will have more, like, say you see this one video, right, that I was like mentioning, like your favorite creator, someone made a rise and fall video of them, like you click on that person that made the video and it's like their top video and by far.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like because you are, everything you're saying is right, and it's like I said, it's perspective. But I'm gonna get to more of the overall point, because I think, and maybe this is wrong too, but like from personal experience, I feel like negative videos get a lot more attention for different ways. I don't know. You're making me think a little bit more, but what do you think
So
about that?
yeah, so I will say, like, look at news. Look at
Of course, yeah, exactly.
not
That was
just
kind of what I was
news,
talking about.
right? Look at social media websites, algorithms, right? It's a lot easier to make people mad, especially these days on like Facebook, right? That's Facebook's whole game plan now is to get people to get angry at each other, which is horrible for society, obviously, because we're at the point we're at, right? But people still have Facebook and use Facebook on a daily basis.
I have a
And
friend
now they
who,
can't get rid of their Facebook. Here's the thing. So I've been deleting all my social medias for this reason and thinking about all this negativity and stuff a lot recently because I'm trying to like better myself. Sorry if I'm moving my mic a little bit. I'm trying to get more comfortable. But that said, all that stuff is really important to think about for you as a human being in your mental health, right? Because that's the thing that's most important. You can't, I say that because I have friends who, and people say this is like a thing, right? And they talk about it all the time, but they never give examples. Like I have a friend whose literally whole self-image would change on a dime if they gained like not even a whole pound, like a fraction of a pound. And it's because of social media and like standards that people are supposed to meet that just are not realistic, and are completely inhumane, if you ask me. Like it's awful and it really tears people to pieces. It's so sad. It's so sad to see. And so yeah, but that negativity is such, it's like a cycle, you know? You get fed this video that's like, oh, take these supplement pills, they'll make you thinner and more pretty and your stomach will stop hurting, right? And then you get the supplement pills and you feel pretty, you don't gain any weight, you lose weight because it's all you're taking is these supplement pills, and you feel sick, but not the same kind of sick to your stomach as you were when you were eating food, because every time you eat food you feel sick because you don't eat food enough, right? And then it feeds all of that. You're only looking at what positives come out of it because it feeds into that negative feedback loop, right? And it is like, oh, I'm doing the right thing, this is working, when it's really just not.
Yeah, and I think with I think I feel like news, social media is promoting it more, but creators themselves, I think everything, I think people are smart to the point, and I feel like people are abusing negative topics, abusing body image problems, all that stuff. I think I see it. There's more. People are abusing the fact that this sticks in their head, right? And that's kind of the point with like, for a lot of people, negative stuff really sticks in their head. Or like for your example, the body image problem, that's something that people are thinking about 24/7. So they're gonna go and try to
Yeah.
fix that. And they go on
Yeah.
social media, they see examples of what they could look like and try to fix that, and then they go down another rabbit hole of
Except here's the
searching the
thing. None of
searching the
that
internet
shit.
for solutions.
Right. Here's the thing though. All of that shit is manufactured. None of it is real.
No, yes,
None of it.
yeah, that was the point. Yeah,
Yeah. And it's so the fact that people don't acknowledge, they call them influencers, but they don't actually sit back and take the time to acknowledge what that influence is and what it's doing to people, and like the truths, all the truths behind that influence, right? um and it just gets worse and it compounds into that, like I said, that negative feedback loop just gets stronger and stronger. And that's also what pushes people into their respective, like, hatred bubbles, you know? It's the same machine. It's all the same machine, and it's doing its job phenomenally. Because
I mean, if you're seeing stuff like people are easily people get influenced by their surroundings, and if their surrounding feels this way toward if this surrounding encourages hatred, then the person that's
so
consuming it is
yeah,
gonna be hateful.
if the algorithm is based off of what you interact with,
Yeah.
and every time you see, this is just a bad example, every time you see if I'm this white dude who has been grown up and their parents have taught them to hate people that don't look like him, and every time they see on their feed somebody that doesn't look like them, and their initial response is to type a racial slur into the comment section,
Mm-hmm.
the algorithm's just going to feed him more of that content. So because he keeps interacting with that content and typing racial slurs in the goddamn comment section, and so it just like feeds itself and then compounds and gets so much worse.
And I think it's gone on long enough to say that this is all coincidental, right? Like,
Totally.
I feel like there's the
There's
argument
no power.
that
We have no power.
yeah, I feel like
there's no way we could change any of these systems.
I'm saying like no, I'm saying like coincidence. Like but my point is like I'm saying is
Oh
it's
yeah.
not coincidence.
So I don't think it was designed to do that, right?
But I think they
think that
know
was
about. I think like people
But
in charge of
they
these companies know about it.
So here's the thing: they make more money
Yeah, exactly.
when people don't leave. And if little Nate, the hate man, white Nate, the hate man,
You found that
who
account?
is now a Nazi.
Oh, never mind. No, don't. We're not putting that out there.
Yeah, white Nate, the hate man, who is now a Nazi, does not give a fuck about anything. Like, now he's spending every single day scrolling through Facebook reels and Instagram reels, typing racial slurs in comment sections, but he's staying there. And every time he gets an ad, Facebook gets money. Every time he gets a sponsorship, like Instagram and influencers get their money, right? And so it's fed by that. That's what's feeding it, is money. But because no one cares about the actual process anymore, it's all a means to an end. And if it means we tear each other apart and we're all in Tale of Two Cities, blood is running down the streets, like, who cares when I have $8 billion and no one else does? When I'm worth sextillions of whatever the fuck the currency is at that point in time, you know?
I'm assuming dollars, sir.
Yeah. But you see what my point is, it's just a problem that forever spirals more and more out of control, and the people who benefit from it just keep benefiting from it. And I was being very sarcastic when I said there's nothing we could do. Like, I do think it wasn't meant to do that initially, right? It's supposed to be like, you like the things that you like, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if I see a thing that I like and I laugh at it, it's a lot more easy for me to still just keep scrolling than if I see something that makes me mad and I feel like I have to speak up, you know? And that's the same kind of thing that causes white Nate the hate Nazi to speak up and say, get that motherfucker out of my country to a freaking person who was likely born in the same country. You know what I'm saying? And to a country founded by people who don't belong, frankly. But that's all my opinion. I'm getting a little too far into the depths here, so I'm gonna let you.
But you're all right, because that was basically my point there. With, just negativity sells, and that's you nailed it perfectly. And I'm like, I'm very pixelated. But let me fix my camera real quick.
Today is the day of technical difficulties and me almost dying while laying in my bed. It's all right. We're trying our best.
Yeah, that near death experience was crazy. Oh my god.
Try to center yourself a little more. You're a little off to the right. It's still pixelated. It's not getting any better.
I think it looks great.
You should just put Shrek 2 up at this point. Be Shrek now. My VTuber looks dope, though. He has had no problems. Uh-oh. He's completely gone.
Oh. Okay.
Ta-da.
So, back to the fully main topic here. You said, right, that you liked complaining. Can you explain why?
I think everyone wants to get something off their chest. Mm-hmm. That's like the basic like, monkey brain shit is like, I'd rather just at least talking about it makes it feel like I'm admitting that there's something there, right? First of all. Second of all, I'm facing that thing head on. Third of all, a lot of those things are things we can't control that we complain about, that we wish we could. So I think there's a lot of aspects to why complaining is easy. Maybe today's just not the day. I feel like we've had such a good conversation, though. Let's
just keep it going. No, it's fine. Let's keep it going.
Okay.
This is just, I look awful for people that are listening.
Scuffed. The name of today's episode is Scuffed Psychology.
It's such a serious episode, too.
Scuffed Psychology. It's cool, because this keeps it kind of light, which is nice.
So yeah, you're basically doing my work for me, then I guess you're very well educated on the topic, and I guess I was for the most part, because that was gonna be my point, was like the ultimate thing with complaining is like, yeah, but what are you gonna do about it, right? That's kind of my thing. And that's kind of like something I've been trying to get into my own head about, is be like, when there's something that's bothering me so much, it's like, so I asked myself two questions: why am I upset? And what am I going to do about it? Right? And I think that's kind of the ultimate, like, smack in the face, is like, why are you going on and on about this?
I think that's a good way to look at things, but I also have to personally stress that sometimes there is nothing you can do about it. And so...
so that's my point. That's my point, right? So if I say, what are you going to do about it? Then it kind of sets in, right? That there's nothing I'm going to do about it, so why am I upset?
Yeah, that in itself is a little... just has kind of a negative self-talk aspect to it, though, to me, which kind of can hurt the whole trying to get away from the negativity anyway. So for me, I think of it like just literally like, is this a thing I can control? Is this a thing I can't control? And then go from there. So that's the first question I ask. If it's a thing I can control, then I ask, what am I going to do about it?
I see what you mean.
Then I feel like I have power, right? Then I feel like I have the power, right? Or at least I have the power to see what I can control and I can't, right? That's a power in itself that is given to me, right? Even just reversing the order of that thought process can change negativity to positivity easily,
Yeah, that's great.
So in that case, that's being more actionary than reactionary. It just feels good. Especially since if you realize you're being actionary versus reactionary, then you know more who you are and whether you know and are convicted in doing what you're doing and knowing that what you're doing is the right thing and the right way forward.
So my note on this was like, what's the harm in complaining? Because it's much better than going up and punching a guy you had a bad interaction with in the face.
Right.
I wanted to slip that in there.
Complaining is very important in that, like I said, sometimes you got to get that shit off your chest. Sometimes you got to be like, Tom is an asshole. Tom keeps doing asshole shit.
And I can't stand Tom for what he's been doing, to be honest with you. I
can't stand him. But what can I control? Not Tom. I can, in some cases, I can control my vicinity to Tom. So I'm just going to stay the fuck away from Tom.
Yeah. And I think
if Tom needs something from me, I'm more than willing to help still, in my opinion, right? But if Tom doesn't accept that help willingly, that's not my fucking problem. Tom is not my fucking problem. Is really the...
No, I'm pretty petty, so fuck Tom.
Fuck Tom. I could talk to my friends and my people that I love and say, fuck Tom. Why is Tom acting the way Tom's acting? But I'm not going to go out of my way to change Tom in any way because that's not my fucking responsibility. I will try to lead Tom in the right direction. I'll be like, hey, Tom, what you did was kind of rude there, you know? But I'm not going to be like, Tom, you should have given the man a tip instead of not giving him any tip at all, you know? Because Tom doesn't tip people. Tom's an asshole.
So after you find out that Tom's an asshole and you go to your friends and complain, when's too much?
When you get your friends riled up to the point that they are also like, fuck Tom, you know? Because they don't know Tom.
Well, basically,
in my head, right? So turning somebody against somebody that they don't even know, I'd be like, hey, you can give Tom a chance. You give Tom a chance. If you say Tom's an asshole, then we all know who the goddamn common denominator is. Fucking Tom. But you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, but if I'm reading through the fuck you Toms.
Sorry.
It's like
to me that sets a definitive line, right? Like when you're changing other people's opinions on things that they don't even have experience with, I think that's unhealthy.
Okay. Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, you snuck that in there really well. I was
Sorry.
maybe not. Maybe I'm just not paying attention as much as I should. But yeah, that's exactly, because I was literally going to be a point where I was going to say, I mean, because like if you're complaining to the point that somebody that never met Tom is upset with Tom, then I think it's like, yeah, now it's too far. So you're completely doing all my notes 1 through 1. So I'm glad I'm the guest here on your podcast.
This is obviously a topic that I thought
I'm glad you're
thoroughly about.
I'm glad you're doing really good. Because so kind of what I was going into this is I wanted to talk about this, so I thought I'd probably do some notes because I wanted to seem a little bit more professional.
We covered a bunch of your notes.
But you're doing a great job, and that's fine because it makes it more natural than what it probably would have been. But I think this is something that's going to be interesting because we talked about when is too much. There's actually, according to science, and it's over, there was a research done at Stanford that there's actually too much you can complain for your own health, right? So there's I guess a pretty easy to think about aspect to it, right? So if you're complaining, say you complain all the time, every single day about something, right? You obviously mentally, that's like super taxing and you're just kind of going crazy and that's all you're thinking about. So I can see that that's kind of like self-destructive, right?
Yeah. So that's super easy to exemplify. You just think of that one person you know that's just Oscar the Grouch. Like Oscar the Grouch, all he fucking does is grouch. All he ever does is grouch. He's not happy because all he ever does is fucking grouch. He doesn't ever notice or pay attention to the things that make him happy because he's too busy grouching. He's Oscar the Grouch. Yeah? Is that kind of what you're getting at?
Yes. And you're
Welcome
constantly
back to 4K.
you're constantly exactly. You're constantly going around telling your friends how much you hate them. And you go home, talk about how much you hate them. You're sitting alone in your room. You're like, man, I fucking hate that guy. And so that itself is kind of bad. But so your brain will see this and naturally start adjusting to it. And so your brain will start out of because it's building a habit, start giving you signals, right? To start complaining. So now you're starting to complain kind of like without being provoked, and naturally, like this is something your brain is actually doing because it thinks that this is natural for you, right? This is a part of your survival, is to complain and be upset, right? So you're basically like, I compared it as like basically like stretching, like doing like stretching your muscles, but like your brain muscles for complaining. But it's not just a mental loop, because complaining shrinks the hippocampus in your brain. So basically, the more and more you complain and get in this same cycle of complaining of the loop, you lose problem-solving skills and abilities. So over time, the more and more you complain, you are slowly causing yourself to gain brain damage, right?
Yeah, so yeah, that makes sense. If you think about it too, like if you're only ever thinking about this obstacle in front of you, then the obstacle, you're giving it power, right? It's just going to grow bigger and bigger and bigger until that's all you see, and that's obsession, of which I have lots of experience with obsession, so I can understand that, especially things that I get so obsessed with that they become an obstacle, and then I let that thing control my whole life. And you've seen that, I think.
I mean, you've seen it from me too, so.
Right. And then that thing is like, if that thing is not going or moving or doing anything in the way I want it to be, then like that's an all-consuming thing that destroys people. So I think like any kind of obsession that at that level, whether it's, and love and hate are the same thing, in my opinion. So I was gonna get at that point anyway. So even if that obsession is something you love, that can destroy you in the same way if it's something you hate, right?
I mean, because if you're
from the exact same place.
If you're
like,
literally sorry, I was trying to say, like, if you keep thinking. Never mind, you keep going. You've been talking.
I was just, my finishing statement is literally, love and hate are literally the same thing. It's just a level of how much you care about a thing.
Yeah, I was going to kind of explain it.
If you care about Tom so much that you're letting your hatred for Tom control your life, figure your life out, bro. It's your life, not Tom's.
And to be honest, I think we might end up finding out that you secretly love Tom.
Exactly. Maybe you were in love with Tom the whole time. You gay motherfucker.
Whoa.
Respectfully.
I know it won't. This episode won't come out. This episode won't come out at that time. But as of recording, this is Gay Pride Month, man.
Oh no! Oops. I should say I am gay.
This comes out in July, so we're good though. It's fine.
I am on the autism spectrum. No, I'm kidding. I am on the
now you're pushing here. You've called being gay autism, and you threatened to kill a king.
Listen, I have all of these things.
You're the king?
And I'm black.
Save it for February. We gotta cut that.
No, that was good. I loved that. That was awesome. That was a great exchange. I keep all of that in. Keep in the part where you said you gotta cut it. Anyway, good conversation. More about complaining.
So I was gonna talk about bringing up love. I mean, it's probably pretty self-explanatory, but it's like if you, I mean, I can see it that way because like if you're just every second of the day you're saying that you love this person, right, and that's all you think about, then it's like you're not. And I get it from that point, from with the part about losing your problem solving skills, because you're just you're not dealing with actual problems. You're just telling yourself this. You're living in this fantasy. Whether
Especially
it's
your
whether it's
problems,
whether it's
right?
hate or whether it's love, it's like constantly just. It doesn't matter what's going on around me. I love this person or I hate this person, right? I get that from that perspective more than just the
Right.
scientific perspective.
So if I'm so hyperfixated on this person, if from a so this is just a like real life, not scientific, whatever the fuck. Like if I'm so hyperfixated on this person in a love way, the same way as a hate way. So I was using Tom as an example. Let's use like I'm in love with we'll call this person G, right? I'm in love with G.
G money.
G is my whole world. All I want to do all the time is spend time with G. All I ever want to do all the time is see G, is do what G's doing, right? Who the fuck am I?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. Sorry to interrupt. I feel the same way. If G is green, all I want to do is see the green.
It's this no, but that's the same thing with money. People are in love with money and obsessed with money in the same exact way. You really thought that was the funniest fucking thing in the whole
I really did. Okay, continue.
It's the fucking evil ass Joker grin, bro, for me. Oh my god. Oh man. I'm so glad that this podcast is slowly finding its chemistry and footing, but god damn it, the god. For those of you who can't see, bro was there for a solid almost 45 seconds, just grinning like a motherfucker about his not even that funny joke.
It ain't easy
To which
being
I
green.
wasn't even.
Wise man
To
once
which
said.
my autistic ass didn't even know was a joke. So I was like, "Oh, he's being serious."
I know you kept going, and I was like, "Where's the reaction? Where's the laugh?" That's when you know a joke really landed. Is when they continue the conversation like nothing even happened.
You know what, bro? Cream. That's what I gotta say about that. Cash rules everything around me.
Save it for February.
See, that was a punchline. That was fucking hilarious.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Oh, you're talking about G.
No, I'm talking about save it for fucking February, bro.
I know, but I was trying to give it back on the rails.
Oh, on rails. We're talking about G. So love has the same aspect to it. The same, obviously, right? And you can see that in people that are obsessed with people, like literally just watch you. Like that's the same obsession with a person to the point where it destroys you or destroys them.
I thought you were talking about me for a second, but I understand now. You're talking about the show.
The show on
I feel like we
Netflix
need to make that clear. He's not calling me
is
a
a
serial killer.
very good example of obsession in a love way ruining lives, right? To the point where homie doesn't even know who he is anymore. That for him means he doesn't realize that he's the serial killer the whole time in the third fucking season, where he's been killing people literally for the last, or is it maybe it's the fourth season, for the last 3 seasons, and he's like trying to find the killer now, but he's been the killer the whole time because he suppressed every fucking idea of himself because he's too obsessed with the people in front of him.
I know the season came out forever ago, but I didn't watch that one yet, so you just spoiled it for me. Thank you.
I didn't spoil any of what actually happens. I just gave a general plot synopsis. I gave the actual spark notes. Go to your English class and get a B on the test. I did not name a character. I did not.
That was rude.
I'm sorry. Now I'm complaining.
I had absolutely no information going into that season, though. I could have been completely surprised.
Oh,
Sorry. I was going to get to it eventually.
No, you weren't.
But yeah, I mean that's pretty much that. There's other science stuff to it, right? When you complain. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was just curious to hear what you had to say. No, go ahead.
Did you
I didn't know you were gonna name. I thought you were asking. You made it sound like a question. My bad.
I gotta get better at that, I guess.
No,
Anyways.
Okay. So you're naming a statistic?
No, not a statistic. So
A study?
when you complain, your body releases cortisol, which
Stress
is
hormone.
What'd you just say?
Stress hormone.
I thought you said a stretch mark.
No, I said stress hormone.
Yeah. So to make sense for this, it's like the fight or flight. Your fight or flight, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of go into defensive mode, and
it's fight, flight, or freeze, which also happens.
Yeah, that's a good thing to say too. But I definitely compare it to like I've had I'm trying to keep this as broad as possible, I guess. I've had situations where two people, me and another person, complained about each other, right? We would go to our friends, complain about each other. And everything ended up, obviously, because why would it not, with like a blow up situation. And to me, I kind of describe that as a fight or flight that we did because of just constantly our problems with each other and complaining. And obviously there's other things that could have happened, could have talked to each other and things like that.
Between us, did it?
No.
Okay, just
I feel like if it happened between us, I probably would have said it.
Yeah. There have been moments where we've had our disagreements.
We fight, but that's normal for people.
But we kind of fight out in the open. We don't really go behind each other's back.
Yeah, I never, yeah. Unless you're doing it.
I think I do know the example you're talking about.
Unless you're doing it, because
I don't.
You're pretty quick
talk to anyone. But
you're talking shit about me now?
The only person I talk to that knows you is you.
I better not be going and finding out you're talking shit about me.
I talk shit about you to my mom all the time. I'm like,
I'll kill her.
I hate Tom.
Man, I fucking hate. I think that's
Secretly,
one thing.
You've been Tom the whole time.
We can fight about everything, but I feel like we can agree on one thing, and that we hate Tom. But yeah, so it's brutal, and like there's obviously the situation where you can go and communicate things, but if you're not doing that, right, then I see that as like at the time we both kind of went into fight or flight mode with each other, and it ended up with a huge blow up.
So here's the thing, so this is why I pointed out freeze, because in that moment you froze, right in front of the person, you froze, and you didn't activate the fight or the flight until you were with another person, and then you activated the fight, right? And then you were like, fuck this person, fuck what he did, blah, 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 right? To your friend or whatever. And he does the same thing, because in the moment, he doesn't know how to say to your face, like, hey, you made me feel XYZ. So he freezes, and it's this exact same story, right? And then you freeze, and then you flee to somewhere else, and then you fight, right? Sometimes it's literally all three in the same package, just in a different order, right? Until the point where you skip all the steps and you're automatically just fighting each other, and that's where the blow up happens, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but yeah,
sorry,
I just burped.
I was
probably
just gonna
think
say,
I
I've done a lot of like psychological study and work. I've read a lot about that stuff, so this is why I'm kind of a little more adept at this particular topic. But I'm glad you chose it. It was
it's something I've been getting into recently, because like I said, I'm trying to feel more positive, and I feel like obviously it's important to know why you feel these ways. And going through this stuff, like the act of just complaining itself is never something I like looked into, but like I have definitely gotten into disagreements with people recently because of the fact that they're complaining too much, right? Like if I'm with somebody and I hear the same conversation over and over and over again, I'm going to say something to them, and I'll be like, kind of talk through it with them instead of just let them complain. Cause like, I feel like I feel it damaging to themselves, and also like I just don't want to hear it if they're complaining like that, because I feel like sometimes it gets to a point where you convince yourself that it's worse than it is because you're so worked up now.
And so here's another thing that It really is, right? So here's a good example, and unfortunately, I'll use the Nintendo and Switch situation to lay this all out as it goes, right? Just because I think it's a really good like frame of reference / example. I had my regular Nintendo Switch. I hadn't played it in months. I picked it up to play it again, because the Nintendo Switch 2 came out, right? And I was like, I haven't played my Switch in a while because I've been playing other games on other platforms. So I pick it up to try it out, and I can't get on servers. We've had this conversation, right? The servers are not working. It can connect to the Wi-Fi. It can't get to the servers. At this point, I'm like, Nintendo fucking bricked my Switch and wants me to buy a Switch 2. This is planned obsolescence. Everything's against me. I hate Nintendo. But all of this comes from, I wanted to play my Switch. Why did I want to play my Switch? Because I love Nintendo games. Why did I buy a Switch? Because I love Nintendo games, right? And I've played those games, and those, like I said at the beginning of those episodes, sometimes playing those games is truly my happy place, right? Sometimes that is where I need to go to deal with how I'm feeling and process the world around me, right? It's not from, I don't pipe up and come to that conclusion, and I had been getting mad and madder about things, Nintendo wise, because of their business practices and stuff like that. And so it culminated in that blow up, right? It culminated in that
Had a whole crisis, identity crisis, right, and everything.
That for that 2 to 3 hours that I was trying to get my Switch to work, because all I wanted to do was play Nintendo games, and I couldn't play my Nintendo games. Like, yes, I hated the people I felt were responsible for that, which was Nintendo, right? Even though the whole point was to play Nintendo games, which I love, right? It's all the same thing. It's just an obsession, but to a lot of the times and unhealthy. And it's the same reason why I went right back to it and walked out and bought a Switch 2 like hours later, because my Nintendo started working. And I was like, oh, Nintendo loves me again.
See, now I think you're trying to make me feel bad.
Right. No. But I was like, it's literally like an abusive relationship, because I was like, oh, Nintendo loves me again. They made my Switch work. Now I'm going to reward them by buying a Switch 2, which is wrong. And they don't give a shit whether I buy a Switch 2 or not. They're going to sell enough, but that, for me, that is how that relationship dynamic played out. And it's because of that obsession. It's because of all those complaints I had building up, and it's because of, at the end of the day, I care about playing those games, because those games a lot of the time shaped my childhood. A lot of those games shaped me as who I am, so it's an important thing to me, and I think for a good reason. But there's a certain point where I should have just looked at it and been like, there's nothing I can do about it. And the thing that I can do about it is not buy the Nintendo Switch 2, but I caved and I did. Because I cared about it. I care more about playing Nintendo games than I care about Nintendo pushing me around.
And your mental health, yeah.
And my mental health. True. I wasn't going to say that out loud. I was going to let people.
It was kind of implied, so I thought I'd just say
it. Yeah. You're saying the quiet part out loud, but yeah.
It's a perfect example of like a small time version of that whole conversation, that it's an obsession, right? Because you're obsessed at this current moment of trying to get it to work. But obviously,
that's why I said it,
what you're doing is not working, and you need to stop and you need to think about it. But like, that's not what's going on in that moment, because you're like, I got to fix it. So yeah, I get that. That's a perfect example. Yeah.
Right. That's why I thought it was the perfect example, just for literally everything we've been talking about this whole episode. Like, even though you brought it up at the start of the episode, piece of shit.
Something about my. I want to point this out. And see, there's sometimes I tell jokes and they don't land. You didn't react to me talking about raw dog and a submarine sandwich. No reaction to that.
That was also at the beginning of the episode. I think
Yeah.
I just gotten used to your ridiculousness.
Yeah, I guess that's true. We were
So-
talking quite a bit beforehand, so I mean, I
And I
like
think in general, we've just known each other for so long that that's not a sentence that phases me.
I had a full sandwich. I ate a bag of chips, no drink. I realized that after I opened up my drink, I'm like, I just ate my
So
whole
is
meal.
that what you meant by raw dogging? I assumed
Yeah,
you
like
just
no
swallowed
liquids.
the thing whole, like
Oh, that's crazy.
like
No.
you know, like a monster.
I'm working on it, but I'm not there yet.
You working on that deep throat?
Hey, not. Join the membership program on Mindset
Oh
TW
no,
for that.
no.
Membership open right now. First video is me deep throating a sub sandwich.
All right, that's so funny. Wow. That's
So my
awful.
final point though for this topic, kind of just an extension of the point before, but it, like I said, it causes cortisol, so we already went over the fact that in the long term it causes brain damage from complaining, right?
Mhm.
Also, because of the high cortisol, you could it causes more stress, which means higher blood pressure, and then like diabetes as well can be caused from it. So I think like what we talked about, and obviously we're not medical professionals, we're just doing a podcast. I think ultimately that sweet spot, you got to find that sweet spot where it's like you can get your complaints and your venting out of the way, but you have to at the end of the day you got to decide, how can I fix this? And if I can't, move on, or if I can, then let's go ahead and fix it and move on.
So, yeah, I think the most important thing is when you're looking at it, right? Realize that complaining is not the solution, right? Complaining is not going to solve anything. But complaining is important in the aspect of it is you acknowledging that there is a problem, right? It is you realizing maybe that it is a problem, that there is a problem existent there. So if you have to do it to do that, then do it, right? If you have to do it to feel a little better, then do it. But realize the most important thing is you just complaining about a thing is not going to solve it. So use that complaint to recognize the problem, to even if you have to think about it and hone in on it a little more thoroughly, right? And then once you've recognized what the real problem is, get the fuck away from Tom. You know, separate yourself from Tom if you have to, right? If you're not able to separate yourself from Tom, then do everything in your power to make that relationship as easy on you as possible. Don't go out of your way for Tom. Tom's not going to go out of his way for you, right?
And if he shows up at your house, call the
Whether
police.
you love Tom or you hate Tom, Tom sounds like a pedophile when you put it like that.
Well, no, I mean, they're not children.
That's not exactly what I was saying.
He
It's
just-
like the stalker stuff.
He just had some bad takes at the company picnic. That's all he did. Jesus Christ. I gotta accuse him of stuff.
Yeah, like age is just a number. That's a bad take at the company.
Hey. I didn't say that. You called me Tom earlier, so you can't start saying stuff like that.
That's no. My point was Tom was just a stand-in for people we hate, right?
You hate
In
me?
that example, when I was comparing you, it's like, but people we hate are really just people we care about. For why, right? So if the solution to the problem is for you to stop caring about Tom, then stop caring about Tom. Whether Tom works in the desk beside you, or Tom is somebody you see every day you take a walk, and he's just that guy that fucking lets his dog shit everywhere. Like, it doesn't matter who Tom is. Don't let Tom control your life. Or Tom's that fucking most beautiful human being you've ever seen in your life, and you want to spend the rest of your days with them, but you don't even know him, right? Don't let Tom be the reason why you do XYZ. Do shit because you want to do it.
There's a moth in here. Oh my god, I'm sorry.
Don't do shit for Tom,
my God, dude,
around Tom, about Tom,
That moth scared the
Oopsie.
shit out of me. I'm sorry.
or money. Do shit that fulfills you. Solve the problem. that's my final speech, I guess. I don't know.
That was a very good ending. That was all chaotic as shit for me behind the scenes. There's a moth. IDK started playing. Good thing I don't have my desktop audio on, because it's been too much.
Wild.
But no, you're definitely right, and I think we got into. If you didn't know, I think now you know. You know.
I think we got into it pretty good.
Would Notorious Big say that I can't repeat? You know. You don't know.
Cash rules everything around me.
Now that's
wrong. Yeah, I know that's not what you were referencing, but it was stuck in my head from earlier.
Anyways,
it's so wrong.
I got nothing else.
But you know, all I have to say is we'll wait till February and then I'll get it right.
I didn't say that. Man, I can't wait for the episodes in February.
Maybe I'll do a whole deep dive on. Nah, I'll just do Don Bellion.
That actually kind of works, I think, right?
No,
maybe.
John Bellion is so white. He's
really.
Yes.
Oh, good for him. Like, is he like Logic white or like?
No, he's like Italian, bro.
No kidding. Get out of here. Heavens to Betsy.
John Bellion looks like, dude. It's on every single one of his album covers ever, bro.
Hold on. Let's look it up right here. We lost everyone, I think, but oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay. Speaking of John Bellion, that'll be next episode's topic. I have been Ace the Space Boy. Go ahead and do your little outro if you're gonna do it, because you're the host, not me.
Oh my God.
You're still reeling over the fact that John Bellion's a white man.
I hope you guys enjoying. We'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Oh, please.
Freak out.